Since the dawn of time, one dream has echoed through the human spirit, a single, enduring hope. For a world without scarcity, a world without conflict, a world of perfect, unshakable safety. We gave this dream a name, Utopia. But what if I were to tell you, we found it? That after all our searching, the answer wasn't a distant star or a promised land, but something far more profound. What if the price of this perfect world was the world itself, and the only way to preserve our paradise was to build it inside a box? The ultimate question then becomes, did we finally create heaven, or did we simply design the most beautiful cage imaginable and willingly step inside? He called it Universe 25, a utopian habitat designed for a population of mice. It was a perfect square world of pens and nesting boxes, a kingdom of plenty. For a time, it was heaven. The mice multiplied, filling their world with life. But then, a strange darkness settled over Universe 25. As crowding increased, the social fabric began to tear. Males became violently aggressive or withdrew completely. Mothers neglected their young. The mice, with no predators but themselves, no purpose but consumption, descended into a behavioral sink. The population peaked and then collapsed. Heaven had become a hell of their own making. The lesson was terrifying. A world without challenge is a world that destroys the soul. What began as a golden age of abundance quickly curdled. With no predators and endless food, the mouse population exploded. But society did not flourish. It fractured. The males, with no territory to defend and no rivals to fight, became hyper-aggressive or fell into a listless apathy. They would attack each other indiscriminately, while others spent their days only grooming, consumed by a vacant vanity. Mothers, overwhelmed and devoid of instinct, began neglecting their young, abandoning them to die. The next generation, raised without care or structure, knew only how to eat, sleep, and preen. They lost all ability to socialize, to mate, to be mice. Heaven had become a sterile, soulless trap. The population peaked and then plummeted into irreversible extinction. Universe 25 didn't die from a lack of resources. It died from a lack of purpose. First, let's set the stage. This wasn't just a cage, it was a megacity. A 9-foot square metal box with 256 apartments built into the walls, complex tunnel systems, and food hoppers that never ran empty. Mathematically, this place could house 3,840 mice comfortably. The experiment began with just 4 pairs of mice, the Adams and Eves. At first, they were nervous, but soon they realized there were no predators, and they did the only thing mice do in a safe environment. They started breeding like crazy. The population doubled every 55 days. This was the golden age. But by day 315, things started to change. The problem wasn't a lack of physical space. The food was still endless. The problem was a lack of social space. Young mice were growing up, but there were no roles left for them in society. All the apartments were taken by the old generation. Because they had nowhere to go, hundreds of young males gathered in the center of the box. Calhoun called them the dropouts. They gave up. They just sat there, huddled together, occasionally waking up to bite their neighbor for no reason, and then going back to sleep. Senseless violence became a daily routine. Amidst this chaos, a very strange group of males emerged. Calhoun called them the beautiful ones. Why? Because these mice didn't fight. They didn't try to mate. They didn't socialize. All they did was eat, sleep, and groom their fur. They were physically perfect, not a single scratch on them. But socially, they were zombies. Narcissistic, empty zombies. And the females? It was even worse. With the males either acting like zombies or psychopaths, the females had to defend the nests alone. This stress rewired their brains. Mothers stopped caring for their babies. They started kicking them out of the nests, or worse, eating them. The infant mortality rate hit 96%. On day 560, the population peaked at 2,200. From that point on, it was a straight line down to extinction. Even when the population dropped and there was plenty of space again, no one wanted to breed. No one wanted to interact. They had forgotten how to be mice. Dr. Calhoun believed that a creature dies twice. First, the death of the spirit. And second, the death of the body. The mice in Universe 25 died in spirit long before their bodies gave up. Today, when we look at our massive, overcrowded cities, our isolation in front of screens, and our obsession with perfect lives on social media, we have to ask, are we building our own Universe 25? Thanks for watching Paint Tales. Don't forget to subscribe before the social collapse begins.